Good evening from London. As you can see from behind me, Hannah's posted up for Nottingham on a 450, and that's what we're about to do. It's been a while since I've been down here to London. Hopefully going to catch a bit of video of a journey on the way out and see what it's like at the moment. Starting off with a quick shot lined up inside the Victoria Coach Station itself. There's two ranks where they line up the coaches. You can see one here, and then right on the right hand side of the picture you can just about see the back of a NatEx coach down the far end, and there's another line to the left from where they are there. So anyway, this was us lined up, ready, waiting for passengers to load, and then we can go. The departure times of the coaches are all set so that the whole row of us leave together at the same time, which is obviously just a safety thing. Because we were right at the right hand end, we were of course last to leave, but you see we're just following the coach out in front of us. Now I've kept the coach audio turned down a little bit here because it's me just talking about all the safety stuff, announcements we have to do. You don't want to hear that, so we'll just leave that turned down in volume for now. So as you can see now down to the end there, to the other coaches sitting down the far end. But anyway, so obviously it's a safety conscious environment. We're not allowed to leave until the TfL manager in there, the guy you saw just a minute ago, lets us go. And this particular exit has a pedestrian crossing for the two halves of the terminal in it, which you'll see in a minute means we have to stop and start for passengers. But anyway, so there's two exits out of Victoria Coach Station. Well, the one down the far end in the far left hand corner you can see now comes out sort of on the what we call the back side, but it comes out in a road called Assembly Place, and then you go around Assembly Place and turn left onto Buckingham Palace Road. Otherwise, this entrance here comes out on Elizabeth Street, which is the road that we will go down when we come out of arrivals to get to parking. Anyway, so we come out of here, turn right, go down Elizabeth Street, and then left on to Buckingham Palace Road. But either way, you make your way out onto BPR, or Buckingham Palace Road, as we call it BPR just for ease, and make our way out, start our journey out of London. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out any waits at traffic lights or that kind of stuff because you don't want to see that. Let's just join very quickly what I'm saying on the coach for a second.
Okay, that's it for the announcements. I think just in terms of the journey, as I said, we're direct to Nottingham. It's going to take probably just a shade under 3 hours to get up there. Our estimated time of arrival into Nottingham is midnight. And we'll see how we're doing when we get a bit closer. I think that's everything. For now, please sit back and relax and enjoy the journey up.
But other than that, this is a real-time run out of London in the evening, around about 9:30 in the evening, and it took around about 40 minutes in total, slightly less on here because of the stuff I'm going to cut out. This is quite a tight turn here actually. You do have to be careful of those traffic lights on the outside, and then a fence, when there's corner fences on the edge of the pavement on the inside. But anyway, no problems for people who've done it many times. And we turn out onto BPR here and now head north up towards the side of Victoria train station itself. Bus lane here, during the day this bus lane can be useful, but as always you'll know by now, I do and don't kind of dip in and out of bus lanes as and when I need to, just when it's advantageous for me. You have to be a little bit careful here, some little tight bits. All of London is tight a lot of the time. But anyway, so pull up to these set of traffic lights and then we'll carry on up BPR. There is almost always a bus in the bus stop up here on the left hand side, or a taxi stopped or something of that nature up here on the left. You almost always have to go into the right hand lane, but we'll see. Maybe in this particular, this was a little while ago now, so I can't quite remember exactly, but oh no, okay, we've done all right. Very rare anyway. So up BPR, up to the top, there's kind of sort of, you wouldn't call this gyratory, it's kind of basically sort of a one-way system really, around the entrance to the road that goes towards Buckingham Palace. But anyway, we swing off left here. This is just all part of this big one way. Of course it's night time now, 9:30 at night. I think it was during the week, I don't think it was weekend, so there's not loads of traffic around. There's some, it's London, but not loads of traffic. Oh look, another set of traffic lights. And off we go again. I guess I should stop saying there's another set of traffic lights because I'll be doing it the entire video, so I'll try not to do that. But anyways, come up here and you'll see a Flixbus come up to on the right hand side of me just here. Some drivers treat this little bit just kind of between Victoria and pretty much the top of Park Lane as a bit of a race. It's who can get in front of every of the other coaches. I'm not interested in that.
if other drivers, and I'm not trying to slander this particular driver at all, but if other drivers, haven't said that, he is well over the other side of the road just there, if other drivers want to drive like idiots, that's entirely up to them, but I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I don't care if I get in front of one other coach and I'm 10 seconds ahead, so what, well, whatever. Anyway, but I do try to be nice to London bus drivers. You'll see here I flash this guy out and not just block him off like some coach drivers do. Ex-London bus driver here, I suppose, but I do flash lorries out. I do try and be nice to other road users, but not always. I'm not perfect, of course, but anyway. So we come up Grosvenor Place and we come up to Hyde Park Corner at the top here, and we're going to head straight up Park Lane, but we just got to navigate around Hyde Park Corner first. Not really much to say about this particular section of road, to be fair, but the only thing really is that, again, during the day, but sometimes at night, bit of a free-for-all here. The cars on the left wanting to get across, other cars wanting to come from round Hyde Park Corner to get across to the left, and it is a bit kind of like wacky races, I suppose, to get round there. Yes, I went through an orange light, so you can shoot me later, don't care. I did say I wasn't perfect 10 seconds ago, but anyway. So around Hyde Park Corner, and then we swing up around Hyde Park Corner, but up Park Lane. I do, if at all possible, try and take both those inside lanes there. It's quite a tight corner. You don't have to. But anyway, straight into the bus lane here. This bus lane up Park Lane is great. There's one coming down southbound as well, but it's got quite a lot of bus stops in it. And it's not quite as good. This one going northbound is really great, especially in traffic. Anyway, so we're going to sneak up the bus lane here. A little tip, I don't know if any newbie drivers watching this, is particularly at bus stops here, is if you come up behind a London bus here in traffic, so you've got traffic on your right, come up behind a London bus, just don't bother indicating to overtake, go round and come back in, because by the time you've done that, he'll be gone, and you've lost all your space. So if you do that and you come up behind a bus in situations like a London bus, in situations like this, just sit way behind him. He's not going to be very long. It's rare that London buses sit at stops for a long time. Right, so northbound up Park Lane on the left, here's a whole load of coach parking spaces. These are obviously full during the day, most days, of coaches who are trying to find somewhere to park in London. This is one of the places I'll park if I park in London. So quite a lot of coach bays on Park Lane here on the northbound side. There's a couple on the southbound side, but they get full quickly and easily. But anyway, so we've got Park Lane. Remember, it's 20 mile an hour speed limit, like almost all of central London is now, 20 mile an hour speed limit. Very easy to go quick up a dead straight bus lane road like this. So I actually often quite use my cruise control. It will work down to 20 miles an hour. So I do sometimes just stick the cruise control on 20 and just cruise up on cruise, which is great. So anyway, so up Park Lane. And then we'll hit Marble Arch at the top. As soon as we pass this set of lights here for the last turn before the top, it's get over to the right hand side as quick as possible. Again, during the day in rush hour, you sometimes have to kind of barge your way over a little bit, but in a nice way, of course. But anyway, get over to the right hand side, because as we come round the top, and hopefully these lights stay green. Let's see. No, typical, going to go red. Anyway, cut this little red light weight out and you'll see. There's a nice bus cut through here. I'm not entirely sure why it's there. I assume just simply to aid the speed of buses round Marble Arch. But anyway, so you can see it's bus only around here. There's as you can see, service bus parking here on the left. But you can still get around anyway, and if you time the lights right here, you can just kind of sneak straight out. Do I manage it in this one? No, not okay, but that's fine. But you can get out here, and it definitely saves sitting through two sets of traffic lights if you use this cut through. So you keep an eye out, as you can see, I'm looking for traffic, and then hopefully trying to just sneak out a little bit, because we've got to get across to the left hand side here. to get ourselves down Oxford Street, because that's my preferred route out. So yeah, just there we go, all good. Over to the left, and then we're going to head straight down into Oxford Street. We don't stay on Oxford Street very long, as you'll see anyway. So obviously the Marble Arch on the right just here. Flash the idiot who's stopped up on double red lines. No, you can't stop there. So it's a left up here into Portman Street. You see there's a left slip on the green lights. Pedestrians crossing here on the left always cross, don't look. And so you almost always need to get on your horn here just to get people to actually look when they're crossing on a red man. But there we go. Anyway, so into Portman Street, and we're going to go up here and we'll scoot up the side of Portman Square and into into Gloucester Place. Not to be confused with Grosvenor Place from earlier on, and I always get those two mixed up anyway. I might cut some of this bit out because this is really just running straight up Gloucester Place up to the junction of the top of Baker Street and up towards North London. So I might cut this out. It's just lots of traffic lights and really nothing much going on in between. We've run the full length of Gloucester Place. In doing so, we've crossed over the A40, the Marylebone Road, which is one of the major routes out of London to the west, and we've carried on up, and we're just at the junction now here at the top, which is the junction of Gloucester Place, Baker Street, which was the road coming in from the right, and we're going effectively straight across here now into Park Road. And to the right behind these, I understand, quite expensive apartments is Regent's Park, and we're going to go up Park Road past one of the roads that's an entrance into the park here on the right coming up. And then we'll head up towards Lord's Cricket Ground at the top. Big church on this junction called St John's Wood, and it's a Church of England, I think, anyway, on this slightly funny elongated junction. But the road to the right to where we were goes around the top of the park. This is Lord's Cricket Ground on the left hand side here as we're going past, and we're coming in here now into Wellington Road, and you'll see why it's called Wellington. Well, why it's called, I don't know. There's the Wellington Hospital on the left hand side, so I'm not sure if the road came first or the hospital came first or neither came first. I don't know, but anyway, so the Wellington Road, and this takes us up then in towards St John's Wood area of London. And we'll go past St John's Wood Station on our way up, then heading really towards Swiss Cottage Junction. So this is Swiss Cottage Junction here. Now, if you're a regular follower to my channel, you may remember a while ago I did a video on a run out from London, and in this area called Swiss Cottage, I questioned why it was called that. Now, on the right hand side just up here, it's a bit dark, you're not going to be able to see it. I'm going to pause the video. You might just be able to make out very faintly the white outline of a sort of bit of a roof line there. That's a pub called the Swiss Cottage, and I wondered why, whether that came first or the area came first. So this time I've checked it out, and here's the answer. So the pub there used to be called the Swiss Tavern, and apparently it was built in 1804, and it's in the style of a Swiss chalet. And if it was light, or if you go on Google Maps, you can see it very much looks like a Swiss chalet. This is all just off a wiki, which I know I shouldn't use, but anyway, built on the site of a former toll gate keeper's cottage. It was later renamed the Swiss Inn, and then again later on in the 20th century, Swiss Cottage, and the area was given its name after the pub. So that answers that question. Back to the driving then. So we are now in Finchley Road. We have been for a little while, but anyway, we're now in Finchley Road. This is an urban centre, a district centre I suppose really. So there's a lot of shops and pubs and cafes and stuff up and down this road, which of course means you're back to traffic again. And most importantly, what you've got to look out for is them ridiculous buzzard riders who are complete idiots, but anyway, so they'll buzz in and out. But anyway, so we go along here, Finchley Road, past Finchley Tube Station. Some of the coach services stop at Finchley Tube Station. You'll see it's coming up and left in a bit. Some of the coach services stop at Finchley Tube Station. I have stopped inbound on NatEx. I don't think I've ever stopped outbound on NatEx at Finchley. Some of the services do serve Golders Green, but we don't do that on this one. And of Golders Green obviously being the Jewish area of London. Very evident when you drive there from the people walking around. But anyway, all good on that front. Anyway, so Finchley Tube Station is just across the other side of this junction here. And we'll carry on up Finchley Road and then eventually at the junction at, not the top of Finchley Road, but we'll turn on to Hendon Way. And we're kind of really getting on the outskirts of London by that point. I think I might do a sped up section here now because it's interesting to see this, but you don't want to see it all in real time. So I'm going to do a sped up section of this bit of Finchley Road, going through up to the top, go across a couple of junctions, around, and eventually we get to a T-junction where Finchley Road carries on straight down towards Golders Green. We're going to do a left onto Hendon Way, which is a dual carriageway. Still got housing on this dual carriageway up to 40 mile an hour at that point. And that goes all the way down to Brent Cross Junction at the bottom. So we'll do that section sped up and we'll pick back up at Brent Cross Junction. We slip down here left off, so instead of going over the Brent Cross flyover, which is where that goes, we slip down and onto the Brent Cross junction itself. Now the area's got a big shopping centre called Brent Cross Shopping Centre, and the name actually comes from two things. The River Brent runs through this area east to west in a man-made channel these days, and the cross bit comes from, it was originally a small roundabout, just not quite in this exact location, but anyway it was a small roundabout that got called the Cross, and therefore Brent Cross got its name. Anyway, so we slip down onto the A406, the North Circular, for just one junction, straight back off again at Staples Corner, and this is where we hit the M1 motorway. So again, this is another major junction. Staples Corner itself is named after a factory that made mattresses called Staples Mattresses. That closed apparently back in the late 80s, but anyway, that's where this junction got its name from, Staples Corner. And you can see we've got signs now for the M1. So this is Staples Corner junction itself. You see that, I mean, they're almost one kind of combined junction. They are two separate really, but they effectively feel like one almost combined junction, these two. But anyway, this has got a slip through the middle, as you'll see, that's up onto the M1. And that's really the end of our run out of London as we slip up onto the M1 here. But stay tuned, because I've got a talking head coming up. I know it's been a while since I've done one of those, but back at Nottingham after the end of the run, did a bit of a talking head all the way back to the depot, so that's coming up in just a minute's time. Okay guys, well we're back to Nottingham. We're just running dead back to the depot right now.
So yeah, good run up. Took just a shade under 3 hours, which is not bad, and it was quite a good run down as well, so no complaints there. Thought I'd try doing a talking head. Haven't done one for a little while, so hopefully this is going to be okay. So I wanted to just ask or talk about a little situation, kind of dynamic that happened on the coach on the way back up. So this is obviously aimed particularly at the coach drivers out there, but interested in anyone's thoughts, anyone, especially passengers. I mean, coach drivers or passengers, people have been on a National Express service. On a service like this, which is effectively a nighttime service, we left at 9:30, got back to Nottingham at midnight. So not like super late, but still relatively, you know, late evening nighttime service. Question is, how quiet would you expect the coach to be? So basically the situation was I had a family of 10 on board, 3 adults, 7 kids. They weren't little kids, they were kind of, I'm guessing probably somewhere between kind of like 10 and 15, that kind of age. And they kind of talked, no, more than talked, chatted, you know, kind of chatted and laughed and kind of, you know, I mean, that kind of thing. They were relatively loud, you know, on a coach of this nature. Oh, what's that guy doing? Man alive. Plonko taxi, what a surprise. Anyway, they were relatively quite loud. So the question is, how quiet would you expect a coach like this to be? So about halfway up, a passenger down the front here had obviously kind of tried to go and say, could they be quiet a bit, and they ignored her completely. So she said to me, is there anything you can do? So I kind of made an announcement over the microphone. I kind of said, what did I say? I mean, I'm going to paraphrase here, but I think I said that obviously I'm not expecting coach to be silent, but you know, if you could keep your conversations down, remember you've got fellow passengers who are trying to sleep, something of that nature. And it kind of really didn't work, to be fair. They just ignored me. Now, that family completely ignored the entire safety talk at the beginning, right back in Victoria. They talked amongst themselves over the entire of that. And they talked probably over the entire of my little announcement to ask them to be quiet. So, I mean, they just ignored me as much as they ignored the other passengers. So, yeah, a kind of difficult situation, really. So, thoughts, input, please, guys, coach drivers and passengers, and anyone else. What do you think? Do you think? I'm not saying I expect the coach to be silent, but it would be nice if the coach was relatively quiet on a nighttime service like this. I actually don't know whether National Express have guidelines themselves. I might have to ask, actually. Obviously, I'm not a normal NatEx driver. I know some NatEx drivers watch my videos, so guys, does NatEx have any kind of rules or guidance that they issue on what the situation should be? But yeah, interested in your thoughts on that one. How quiet should a coach, you know, a nighttime coach like this be? Obviously, I had the lights off. We've got just the night lights. Any of you who know the Merc Turismo, you know it's got the little orange lights that you can have as night lights. So the coach was dark in that sense, so it would encourage people to, you know, try and keep it down. But this family were clearly not interested even slightly in keeping the noise level down. So guys, should I have done more? What do you think? Tell me what you think. All right, so running back to the depot now, and then what's time now? It's about 25 to 1 now, so I'll probably get back to the depot in about 10 to 15 minutes time. Sort the coach out as always and go home. So it's been quite a while since I've done a NatEx, and it's been a good run down, good run back, so I can't complain at that. Yeah, all right. I'm not sure if I'm going to say much more, probably not. So as always, guys, please take care. Please like and subscribe the video. Please leave a comment, so let me know what you think about the situation. And one final thing, if you guys are on Instagram but you are not following my channel or my page on Instagram, please hop over there and follow. So it's the same as the YouTube channel here, at Ride with Robin Videos on Instagram. I do try and post a picture, at least one picture up every time I'm doing something. So it's a good way of keeping much more up to date with what I'm doing and where I am, than obviously the videos which lag a little while behind, because it takes me a while to process the video and have time to do it and stuff. So if you want to know where I am a bit more up to the minute, then check out Instagram at Ride with Robin Videos on Instagram, and I'm on there as well. Oh, I'm in the wrong lane. I'm always in the wrong lane at that point. I never think about it, but hey, it's quiet, no probs. Okay guys, I think that's it. Please take care. As always, drive safe, and I'll see you again in the next one.